Ladies and gentlemen, it's a beautiful day. Why, you ask? Because this week I've started a fat loss phase, which means we're about to get shredded. And I thought, why not, seeing as I'm getting shredded, help you guys get shredded as well? Because I did get a little bit soft. I got to admit, I didn't get fat, but I got a little bit soft, okay? I think I had a couple of my best months ever with coaching, and then went to Turkey. They said I couldn't train for a month, but I was like, nah, come on. I'm not training for a month. So I took 2 weeks off, but plus I was there, didn't train when I was there, So we got a little bit soft, but now we're changing that. And I thought I'll run you guys through a full day of eating, run you through exactly how you guys can structure your nutrition so that you can lose fat without feeling too hungry. Because the biggest thing is not getting into a deficit, it's staying in a deficit. That's the thing that most people struggle with, right? And it's because they can't manage hunger a lot of the time because they have no idea how to structure a diet that actually keeps them full. So I'll run you guys through exactly how I set my diet up, what I'm eating at the moment, and in the back of that, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. I'll provide a few, sprinkle in a few handy tips along the way as well. Right, lads, first meal pre-workout. It's just before 6 o'clock at the moment. And we are going, my favorite. Shee. Damn, that lighting right there, though. Bit crazy. So, first meal. My favorite pre-workout meal at the moment. We've got rice, half a bag of this, a little bit of water, scoop of gooey white chocolate cookie whey protein from Emerald Labs. And we're just going to mix that about. Just mix it around. And it becomes like rice pudding type thing, which is fucking elite. And then sliced banana on top, a little bit of honey on top of that. And we've got a meal that has a bit of protein, 3 different forms of carbohydrates. I always like to get a mixture in. Definitely include some fructose in there, which of course we get from fruit. And look at that, so it's become like a bit of like a pudding thing. Delicious. Bananas going on top. We don't use a knife around here. Just use a spoon to cut it to minimize the amount of washing we have to do. Think smart, guys. Efficiency. A little pro tip for you as well. When your bananas start getting a little bit old, as they often do, so you can see the skin there a bit brown. I can see it yesterday get a little bit old, so I chucked it in the fridge. If you chuck it in the fridge or the freezer when you notice it's getting old, it'll last you 1 or 2 extra days. And now look at that, it's not brown or anything. And finally, our 15 grams of honey, around about 15 grams. And there we have it. Look at that. Beautiful. So this meal is the only meal of the day that isn't focused around really slow digestion and, max satiation, I suppose. Because I'm going to train pretty soon. So the main goal here is just to get carbohydrates into the system. Well, later down the track in the fat loss phase, will I change it up? Potentially, but probably not. If I'm getting really, really shredded, that is when I consider, okay, do I need to make my pre-workout meal a little bit more kind of fiber dense, just to fill me up and sacrifice, digestion a little bit. But right now there's no need to. This is the one meal in the day that is purely focused on getting carbohydrates into the system quick and not about filling me up. So I just got to the gym and I thought, almost forgot to talk about caffeine, because obviously it's not food, but it's still a big part of nutrition and especially relevant when you're in a fat loss phase. Because, well, first off, I'll say what I've got. I've got a kamikaze right here, which is around 160 milligrams of caffeine, a bit of beta-alanine in there. So it's kind of like, it's a bit of like a G-rated pre-workout, this. It's not anything intense, it's low to moderate stim, but gives you a little bit of a kick. And especially at this stage of fat loss phase, you don't want to be overdoing it with the caffeine intake. See, caffeine is like any other drug. It has a trade-off. It has trade-offs. And what inevitably starts happening as you get leaner and leaner throughout a fat loss phase is an energy starts dropping a little bit. You start bumping up caffeine. It's very common, right? And you don't want to start at the very beginning of a fat loss phase with already high caffeine intake.
because the trade-off is that the more caffeine you start ingesting, the poorer your sleep quality gets. And I hear this all the time. Guys say, "Oh, I sleep like a baby. I get to sleep fine after pumping pre-workout at 5 p.m." Yeah, but you're not getting good deep sleep, and that's really what's going to be able to maintain performance over time. You know, guys will say things like, "Man, no, I'm fine. I pump caffeine at 5 p.m. When I train and I sleep like a baby," but their performance is dropping from week 3, week 4 of a cut. So they're not sleeping like a baby. They're just getting to sleep easy. There's a big difference. So with your caffeine intake, take it easy. Don't overdo it, especially early on in a cut. All right, and I'm having this at 6:45 in the morning, so it's gonna be more than fine. If I need another small coffee later, I'll have it, but I've got to kind of max out at under 250 milligrams by 10 a.m. That's the kind of rule for myself. But I'm gonna go in, get a good session. I'm not gonna film any of my session today because I've been filming sessions in my past videos, and this video is purely about nutrition and managing nutrition and hunger around fat loss. So that is what we will keep the focus on.
Yo, okay guys, it is now meal 2. It's actually around 2 hours after I finish the gym. Because I'm in a fat loss phase at the moment, we want to space these meals out. And because the anabolic window isn't really a thing, I know I had some protein before the gym. I know that was going to be fine for me for a couple hours. And now I'm getting into meal 2. It's around 11 a.m. After this meal, I'm going to be having a fairly big window with no food. So I want plenty of fiber in this meal. Fill me up, hit some protein, and then we'll get into some work after that. So for this meal, guys, we have 45 grams of oats, Emerald Labs whey protein, an apple with some more fiber. Obviously, got the fiber in the oats as well. I've got 120 grams of YoPro yogurt in there, and then 15 grams of peanut butter. So all in all, that is around 570 calories with 46 grams of protein, I believe. Obviously, now that it's not my pre-workout meal anymore, the goal is high protein, high fiber, high volume, cutting the apple up nice and fine as well. So we get a full bowl, because it's not only the physiological effect of having high fiber and high volume foods, but the psychological effect of having a big bowl of food, especially when you're dieting, that is really, really helpful. And another big thing to think about, guys, spacing your meals out. If you're not super hungry in the morning, don't smash half your daily calories in the first half of the day. If you're a lot more hungry later in the day, push a few more calories to then, and you're gonna feel a lot better. Work with your body and your habits and your preferences, all right? Don't just do things because it's how you've always done it. Think about your plan when it comes to dieting and make it work the best for you. So a decent meal overall, quite filling for the amount of calories, and we're gonna have my next meal probably around, I don't know, maybe 3 o'clock. So I'll see you guys then. So here we are back again for meal 3 of the day. As I said, it'd be around probably 2:30, 3 o'clock. It is now 3:17, 3:18. It just clocked over to 3:18. And this meal, not very exciting, I'll be honest. Pretty boring, wrong way. Pretty boring stuff here. We've got avocado, a whole lot of veg, 200 grams of veg, and extra lean beef mince with some nice seasoning. So the reason for this, guys, I find when I'm dieting, I don't mind having a boring meal or my second last meal of the day, because it's going to be lower calories and it's going to create more flexibility for dinner when we can have a more enjoyable meal, a more carb heavy meal, more calorie dense meal, especially as that's usually with my partner as well. I'd much rather that. You can make these decisions for yourself about what you prefer when it comes to dieting, but I'll run this. I'm happy to eat a kind of boring meal because it means that it's delayed gratification for later on. And you make these sacrifices when dieting. I think a lot of people think that you're dieting and everything has to taste amazing, but once you accept that, you can just have some things that don't taste great. That being said, I've got low calorie sweet chili sauce on here. It's salted up, it's seasoned. It's not too bad, So, final meal of the day. I had a bunch of late calls last minute. Didn't have time to cook. I can be fucked cook after, to be honest. So I'm currently at my fiance's work, who runs this bar, and there's a fishbowl right next door. So I come here, say hello to her. Got some fishbowl, which is what we used to do on Thursdays anyway, which today's a Thursday. So I'll show you. OG chicken, extra chicken, Coke Zero, Pepsi Max, clutch. macros on this bad boy are pretty damn good, and I was only on 1,400 calories for the day, so I assume it's probably around 600 calories with the extra chicken. So I'm aiming for around 2,100 calories anyway, so even if it's 700, I'm still bang on. Now, one bonus tip for you guys, and this is super important when you are trying to lose body fat and trying to stay full. Sleep. So we've got two hunger hormones in our body. We have leptin and we have ghrelin. Now, one is responsible for how hungry you feel. So the more you have, the more hungry you feel. And the other signals that you're full when you're actually eating. And when you're underslept, hormone A increases, so you feel hungrier, and hormone B decreases, so you don't feel as full nearly as quick. So it's kind of a double whammy of hunger if you're not dialing in your sleep when you're trying to get shredded. And I could do a whole video on sleep. And if you guys want me to do a whole video on sleep optimization, I will definitely do it for you. So let me know in the comments below. But you need to get this dialed in if you care about not suffering throughout the whole deficit. And it's a must. It's a must if you want to get shredded. So my top tips for you guys: don't eat too close to bed. It's going to decrease your sleep quality. Try and have a consistent sleep and wake time. This is going to anchor your circadian rhythm, allowing you to fall asleep easier and get better, deeper sleep. Try not to be on your phone until you go to sleep when you're in bed. Have non-negotiable kind of wind down time, whether it's 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, where you do something that physically relaxes you and mentally relaxes you before bed. Stretching, reading, breathwork, meditation, all great things you can do. If you combine those things with supplementation, such as magnesium glycinate, ashwagandha if you're stressed, melatonin, all those really helpful for getting to sleep and staying asleep. And the last tip, guys, this is a big one, caffeine use. And I mentioned that earlier in the video, but if you're having caffeine close to bed, it is nuking your ability to get quality sleep. And a mistake guys make, I always hear it, oh, I sleep like a baby, man, I get to sleep fine. You get to sleep fine, but you don't get good quality sleep because that caffeine is still running right in your system, keeping your nervous system in that or more towards that fight or flight mode rather than rest and digest. And just a reminder, guys, I help people get lean and stay lean every single day. So if you guys would like some help, I'll include a link in the bio. You can schedule a chat with me and we can talk about exactly how I can get you there. But for now, guys, if you found this helpful at all, I'd be very appreciative if you could give it a like, comment. If you could subscribe, that'd be even better. But apart from that, have a great day. Take care.